Arlo and the House of Whispering Stars. Arlo stood on the porch, his small blue suitcase feeling heavier than a mountain. He looked up at Nana Bloom's front door. It wasn't his door. It didn't have his sticker of a rocket ship on it. Nana Bloom opened the door with a wide smile, her apron smelling like cinnamon and sunshine. "Ready for our big adventure, Arlo?" she asked softly. Arlo gave a tiny nod, even though his tummy felt like it was full of jumpy grasshoppers. Inside, the house felt very big and very quiet. The hallway clock went tick-tock, tick-tock, sounding much louder than the one at home. Arlo sat on the edge of a giant, velvet armchair. The shadows in the corners looked like long, dark fingers reaching out. He missed his bed, his glow-in-the-dark ceiling stars, and the way his room smelled like laundry. Nana Bloom peeked around the corner, wearing a paper hat. "The Cookie Kingdom is in trouble," she whispered. "We need a brave knight to help mix the magic dust." She handed Arlo a giant wooden spoon that was almost as long as his arm. Arlo looked at the spoon, then at Nana's twinkling eyes. The jumpy grasshoppers in his tummy started to settle down just a little bit. In the kitchen, everything was covered in white puffs of flour. Arlo stirred the bowl with all his might, while Nana Bloom added chocolate chips that looked like tiny river stones. They made a mess, but Nana didn't mind. She even put a dab of dough on Arlo's nose, making him sneeze a kerchoo that sent a cloud of flour spinning into the air like snow. When the cookies came out of the oven, they were warm and gooey. Arlo took a big bite, and the chocolate melted on his tongue. He sat at the table, swinging his legs. The house didn't feel quite so big anymore. It felt like it was filled with the scent of toasted sugar and the warmth of the oven. "Being a knight is hungry work," Arlo said, reaching for a second cookie. After the cookies were gone, Nana Bloom led Arlo to the big sofa. She pulled out a heavy book with a tattered gold cover. "This is the book of long ago," she said. As she turned the pages, Arlo saw pictures of Nana when she was a little girl, wearing pigtails and climbing trees. They sat close together, their shoulders touching, as the sun began to set outside the window. Nana Bloom told a story about a time she was scared of the dark too. "I used to think the wind was a dragon," she laughed, waving her hands to show how big the dragon's wings were. "But then I realized the wind was just the trees whispering goodnight to each other." Arlo listened closely, realizing that even grown-ups had jumpy grasshopper feelings sometimes. Soon it was time for bed. The guest room was dark, and the moon looked like a cold, silver eye in the window. Arlo pulled the covers up to his chin. The house made a little creak, and Arlo froze. He wished he could teleport back to his own room with his own familiar sounds. He felt a tiny bit of the nervous feeling coming back. Suddenly, Nana Bloom walked in carrying a glass lantern. Inside, a soft, amber light danced and swirled. "This is the wandering star," she whispered, placing it on the nightstand. The lantern cast hundreds of tiny, glowing dots across the walls and ceiling. They looked just like the stars in Arlo's room at home, but these stars seemed to move and shimmer as if they were dancing. Arlo watched the dancing stars until his eyelids grew heavy. He realized that Nana Bloom's house wasn't scary. It was just a different kind of magic. He felt brave, like a knight who had finished a great quest. "Good night, Nana," he murmured. Before he drifted off to sleep, he decided that maybe, just maybe, he would stay for 2 nights next time.